So now let's continue with the triple projection. We are copying the dimensions from the axonometric because it's just a lot easier. They're right there, and we're doubling them. Sorry. So again, when you are measuring something, you've got two options. You either measure it with a triangle, and you remember the distance, 3 centimeters, 320 centimeters or whatnot, or you can grab a paper and just copy the specific distance on the piece of paper and then just put it there twice, and then you get double the distance. I would actually go for that. I would just go and use the sheet of paper because that's a lot easier. It doesn't consume brain power, right? You will use your brain power for different things, which are going to be much more productive. So this is the start of the frontal view. I'm drawing the tangency between the inclined volume, even with the slope, and the half cylinder volume, and already there's a bit of a mistake because the half cylinder volume is going to be taller. Okay, I just drew it like a half cylinder, but it's not. It's got an extra prism on top of that. But I'll correct that later. Good. Okay, it's not like that. It's got a different level. It's a bit higher. Good. So just adding more stuff. A bit of a visibility issue there because you've got a bit of overlap. I'm drawing the contour lines for everything, and that is really good. Yeah. Yeah, so copying all these lines, these distances, and adding them on the triple projection. Always make sure that when you're drawing something, you are, let's say, keeping the measurements clear. Always measure on verticals and parallels, perpendiculars, right? Lines that are generally parallel to the axes of projection. Okay, so never measure on an inclined line or something like that because it's not going to carry through from an axonometric to a triple projection, and the other way around. So now I'm measuring the height and the length, but the length just in the planar view where you can see it in full distance. Okay, so now we are constructing the inset cylinder, and after that we are going to thicken everything, go through the lateral view, the side view, and then construct the cast shadows for everything. So this is kind of linear right now. It's just a matter of correlating, to planar view with the frontal view, of guesstimating the different heights guesstimating, I literally measure them from the axonometric. So I place them in the frontal view so I get those weird half ellipses. Right? Okay, dashed lines everywhere where you see overlap, and yeah, this is starting to look interesting. Always, when you've got two prisms that are triangular, always match the slopes on the inside because that's going to create tension. That's a good technique for composition, right? Like I'm doing right now. So that's going to create a bit of tension, and I've used the cheese slice volume as a foreground, and that's something that would create a parameter, right? So these volumes aren't really, though they form a Christmas tree type of thing, they are kind of also forming a perimeter, right? This perimeter is very good because it shows spatial depth and spatial relevance, to be fair, because it's not enough just to look good. It needs to have these qualities of defining space. Okay, that's why it's abstract architectural composition. And again, going back, this is a different approach. We usually use sketching and a very detailed, let's say a very detailed freehand drawing to generate our compositions. But now we are doing it the other way around. We are drawing a very detailed triple projection, and things will kick off from there. Right, so I'm doing the ellipses right now, which are so one of them is parallel to the frontal plane, so it's going to be a half circle, but the other one is at an inclined angle, so it's probably going to be a half of ellipse. So thickening all these lines just to get clarity, the usual stuff, and measuring up so we can draw the side view. Just with a 45-degree triangle, that should be enough to create the effect. Okay, good. Yeah. So, only there's a small bit of a mistake. The side view doesn't look like that. I'll correct it later. It happens. You can't really focus on 10 things at once. If you see, the page layout is a bit messed up because you've got an overlap from the frontal view to the cuts frontal view, right, of the main volume, let's say, from which all these 5 volumes were created. So we need to kind of make a visual hierarchy there. One of the two is going to be first, and then the other is going to go in the background. There's this phobia of having things overlap. It's not really a mistake if they overlap, and it looks like a collage of different volumes. That's okay. But if they overlap like half a centimeter or just a bit, they create an illusion of something that's not accurate. Okay, good. So let's add all these extra elements, all the inclined lines, all the ellipses, everything, because we are getting close to finishing the triple projection and then going for the cast shadows and then the axonometric. Right, you'll see the cast shadows, those are going to make perfect sense. Okay, so we have that special ellipse there, and then we are constructing the other parts. Yeah, I'm doing the other parallels for the for the left-hand side rectangle where you'll fit the other ellipse, half ellipse. Good. Right, and after that's done, we can start thickening the lines. Don't forget you've got a volume in front of you, so you're going to have a lot of dashed lines over there. Dashed lines do create a good effect. They create this effect of graphics and all this interesting stuff. Right, good. So let's focus on getting the line weights right, on drawing all the volumes, thickening all the proper edges, and then adding the cast shadows, which we will discuss in detail, because actually we will need to draw the cast shadows correctly. We will need to use the frontal view and the planar view as well, and I'll discuss each of these cast shadows in detail for you. Okay, so you get used to the thinking behind all of this. We are going to have specific lessons on cast shadows, but that's later. We need to still work on basics till we get there. We're not beginners, but we still got a lot to go. Okay, for getting a accurate level of skill. Right, so what did I do there? I split the half circle into segments, and then I'm drawing that in the frontal view, so you get that nice effect of a curvature, right? So these these half cylinders look like they're curved, like they're going in, right? Like if you remember for the first volumes we drew, we did that for the cone and the cylinder. This effect of showing curvature, you can actually complement that with a bit of hatching. We'll talk about that when we get there. Okay, yeah, all these segments, we copy them and we get them into the side view and then apply that. Okay, a bit tedious, but well worth the time investment, because you will get that nice effect. Okay, same goes for the other curves. Yeah, that's my hair, right? So these segments really work to create that curvature effect. Okay, they get smaller as they go around our volume. Right, good. But still, don't forget we got a small mistake on the half cylinder, which is in the frontal view, tangent on the inclined volume, but I'll sort that out later. Okay, good. Right, so let's start thickening all those extra lines. Need to construct the weird half ellipses that form the the cylindrical cut in our vertical dominant, and we will do that. That's fairly easy to do. And after that, let's move on. Move on to thickening all the lines and the cast shadows then. Okay, so again, I'm copying the points from the frontal view and from the planar view, and then by means of parallels, I'm just constructing all the other necessary elements, and splitting everything down the middle, then two diagonals, and then the half ellipse, and then copying the exact same rationale for the other half ellipse, so we get the full volume. Okay, good. Right. Yeah, we are building everything there. Yeah, another half ellipse, and then we are kind of good to go. We can thicken all these lines. Obviously, some of them are going to be with dashed line and whatnot. Yeah, after that, after we've got the visual hierarchy done, we can just correct everything, and then we're done 100%. We still got to correct the half cylinder in the foreground and the side view for that triangular prism, which isn't going to look like a triangle, it's going to actually look like a rectangle from the side view. But I'll correct those later. Not because I don't want to now, but because I just found that out later. Actually, the more you draw a volume, the more you understand the volume, right? Nobody can understand something like in the first 5 minutes. Right, and when you're focused on finishing a drawing, things like this can slip. But as you draw them, your understanding of them is going to get better. So what am I doing now? I'm doing the cast shadows, right? So the 45-degree direction in a planar view, right? Now I could go and just add that, like the standard way we were doing the cast shadows. Well, I'll rather go and construct the shadows properly. So 45-degree line in the frontal view, and then go for perpendicular like that, and that's the edge, okay, that we have in the foreground. And you can see in this case the cast shadow is falling on top of our small cylinder, okay, because it's not as tall as you think. That's the cast shadow 45-degree in a frontal view from the vertical dominant. That's going really down because it's forming a very large shadow. it's casting a large shadow. Right, so what are we doing right now? We are constructing the cast shadows for the volumes. We got an ellipse there, half ellipse of course, right, for the half cylinder. And then we need to kind of draw the outline of all these volumes and then connect the cast shadows from each of them, because shadows overlap and they form this weird outline. That's the shadow of the inclined volume on our cylinder. You can see there. It's going to have a kind of a weird curvature, and then it's going to go straight ahead on the ground. Okay, good. So this is going to be very interesting because for the vertical dominant we have that cut going through our volume, so we need to show that. Okay, good. So the half ellipse there. Okay, good. Going straight ahead. Don't forget, all these cast shadows have that really thick line to them. Okay, good. Yeah. There's going to be a edge there, and fortunately or not, everything is going to end. Okay, there, because we got a we've got a small overlap of shadows. Okay, there's going to be another overlap in the frontal view. Yeah, that point is there. So this is the cast shadow for our inclined volume, and it overlaps. Right, let's go for the prism, triangular prism. You just need a height. Then you go in a frontal view, go for the 45°, bring that down, and then intersect that with the top right corner, like that. And that's your cast shadow on the ground. Okay, this is line drawing again. Right, good. It could fall on the prism as well, on the cheese slice volume as well. We will draw the shadow for the cheese slice as well. But first, let's draw the weird ellipse thingy. Okay, so we got those heights from a frontal view. We're bringing them down on that edge. Now we need to connect them with the limit, right? That's going to be, you get that in a planar view. Now you understand everything, right? So you got the distance from the volume, you get that from a frontal view, and then you connect with the planar view, and you get that rectangle where the half ellipse would fit, in theory. But you'll see there's going to be a bit of overlap. This is the cheese slice, okay? Again, curvy. Right, 45°, bring that down and then add the curvature. Right, okay, that's going to be the half ellipse, but there's going to be a trick to that, because our volume isn't just one slice, it goes all the way through, so you need to draw the parallel. Right, obviously made a bit of a mistake there, happens. That parallel there, right, is going to create another half ellipse which you connect it to, and then that's the cast shadow. Okay, because you got that extra edge which overlaps. Okay, so we need to figure out how this is going to look like on the cast shadow from the triangular prism on the left, how it's going to look on the cheese slice. It's going to obviously fall there, down, okay, then go up, and then fall on the top again for a bit. Okay, maybe something like that. Right, the height there from the frontal view, we'll just copy it in the planar view direction. It's going to leave like a small little tip. Okay, if you don't understand that, that's fine. It's an advanced shadow. Next video.